good afternoon, good morning, good evening. I'm going to try to get as many things done while my son is in kindergarten today as I can. This is like crazy talk. I hope you guys grabbed your coffee this morning because we have some things to talk about. Now, I know some of you are like Jersey Shore and watch it. See, I don't even watch it. I just really love the drama that happens off the screen because their real lives are far more dramatic than anything you see on the show that is scripted. Yeah, because nearly everything on MTV is scripted because the producers manufacture drama. My favorite dramatic couple as of late is Ronnie Magro and his on again, off again, on again, off again, on again, off again baby mama, girlfriend, Jen Harley. So this couple is such a walking, I don't even know how to describe. They are just a hot mess wrapped in a hot dog bun and then put into a blender and then thrown out onto the garbage and thrown out onto the floor, because that's how I would best describe their relationship. It's like 1 minute they absolutely love each other and they're like kissy and like all over Instagram, and they're like with their daughter and they're like best friends and he's the best dad and I love my husband or whatever, and then he's always like, she's so hot, I love her. But then the next minute Ronnie will be posting like photos on Instagram of him with a black eye or with a bloody nose or with a cut across his face and be like, never again. And then she always accuses him on Instagram of cheating and hooking up with side hoes or groupies or whatever. And like, not to mention she was arrested because Ronnie said she threw an ashtray at his face. Now this is the interesting part, you guys. So these two have been together, I don't know, a couple years. Their daughter is 17 months old, so however long that would take, you know. I feel like she got pregnant really fast into their relationship, and she had a history already of being in volatile relationships. She is a, I don't know, aggressive type. She handles her situations with her fists. She kind of reminds me of maybe what she and Amber Portwood could probably take the same, could probably provide the same techniques for conflict management. Jen Harley seems to settle conflict with her fists or her arms or her nails. Now, in January, they got into this massive altercation on the New Year's Eve, and they got into this fight, and then Ronnie posted a photo of a scratch on his face, but then Jen posted photos of her entire, like, TV smashed, things pulled off of her walls. They were both accusing one another of, like, getting violent with each other, and then Ronnie ends up filing a police report against her. They press charges against Jen in May, but then they dropped the charges in July. So she has no current court case, even though they arrested her in May on an outstanding warrant for the domestic violence in this incident in January. Messy. Now, perhaps the most notorious fight these two had happened on Instagram Live, like last year. She and him were fighting, and she was accusing him of using drugs. She was all over Instagram telling everyone that he had a problem with cocaine. And then in an Instagram Live, the two end up like in a fist fight. And they're like pulling each other down and they're screaming and they're yelling. It's the messiest relationship. And then after these like seemingly wild and like crazy fights, like 2 days later they're like, love you, hi, love you. It's kind of like it's like Janelle Eason's relationship with David, I imagine. This relationship is like so messy. They break up, they get back together, they break up, they get back together. So this past spring, Ronnie finally admits that he has a substance abuse problem, and he goes to rehab. And he goes to rehab for like 1 month, which I don't know about you guys, but most people that I know that have issues with addiction need more than 1 month of treatment to get through what they're going through. For some people, 1 month barely gets them through detox. And he came out, and People magazine was like interviewing him, and he was all like, I'm just in such a better place, and I'm gonna focus on my little girl, Ariana Sky, and it's not about Jen. We need to provide like a very healthy relationship for her and a healthy life. And then they got back together. And then over the 4th of July, they were back together, and then they broke up, and they got back together, and they broke up. Well, now on Instagram, Jen has been like all over accusing him of cheating and like speaking out about how she has been silenced by MTV. This is interesting because this is twice in the past week that a significant other of someone that is in a contract with MTV has accused MTV of protecting the castmate and silencing the spouse or the partner. If you remember, Andrew Glennon last week also accused MTV of protecting Amber Portwood after she punched him in the face. He's been pretty vocal all over Instagram and through conversations with me that her relationship with him was very abusive. And now it sounds like Jen is saying the same thing. However, it's interesting because in this case, she has her own history. So I don't know if it's a product of the two of them swinging at each other or if it's him. I mean, Ronnie is a bodybuilder, and this is one thing I've always suspected about his explosive temper. If you watch Jersey Shore, this guy can pop off. He can go from like being Mr. Calm to like 800 miles per hour. I've often wondered whether or not steroids are a part of that or drug use. Now, for Jen's part, who knows what's going on with her, but Ronnie has admitted that he's an addict. So, long story short, yeah, roid rage, exactly. So, long story short, let me just show you some things she put on Instagram. So late last week, she said, "Is this love? Yes or no?" And this was of Ronnie with his arm around some chick on a boat. And then she made this statement on Instagram: "Ronnie and I are really, truly opposites. His love language is very aggressive. It's verbally aggressive. It's physically aggressive. It's just the way he expresses himself. I don't know if that's a love language." And then Jen wrote, "It's not me. They dated 1 month. Just because MTV needs to protect their assets, I've always been proven innocent." And then she wrote, "I hated to post this tonight, but I can't keep taking abuse by MTV and Ron and the cast. Everyone always apologizes to me for saying the things they have to say about me, but I can't take the abuse anymore. It's not me. I can prove everything. I'm the one bullied and abused by everyone. Just because I don't post the things that happen to me doesn't mean it doesn't happen. Isn't it weird you never hear my side because I don't need to tell it?" Then she posted different photos of different girls that he has gotten cozy with on the most recent season and the past season while he's been together with Jen, in the pool, on the side of the pool. And then she posted, "Addiction not only hurts the addict, it hurts the family, kids, friends, and the people who try to help them." And then she wrote, "Who wore it better, the groupie or the baby mama?" So now, interestingly, this is true. Like every time he has made a claim against her, it has been proven that like nothing happened, or she's been like the charges have been dismissed. I don't know necessarily if that means that nothing happened or if just like he refused to cooperate. In the case against her that happened for the May arrest, he refused to cooperate, meaning he just stopped talking. And I wouldn't say that she's totally quiet. She does often share her story. She accuses him of cheating all the time. She accuses him of being violent a lot. So it's hard to know, you guys. This is just one of those relationships that is absolutely so toxic that this little girl that is 17 months old is in the middle of this chaos. I don't think either one of these are healthy. These humans are healthy together. This reminds me of a relationship where it's two people that are extremely toxic that have met and become attached to each other, and it just creates more toxicity and more chaos. And sometimes when you're in these situations, or if you are yourself a toxic person or in a bad place, you are attracted to other people that are in that same place as you. And so in this case, I would suggest they both just stop this merry-go-round, because they have a 17-month-old daughter that is in the middle of this, that does not deserve this. And I certainly hope they can just get their acts together and remember that the one thing that should matter is not whether who's cheated or who did what or who said what, but a little girl has no choice in the matter that her parents are being D-holes or D-bags about this, and that she's going to wake up one day and see all these headlines and wonder what the hell is wrong with mommy and daddy. No child deserves this kind of mess, and I really hope at some point they just completely separate and move on. Let's hope this is the final breakup for Ronnie and Jen. I want to know what your thoughts are, if you think that they are on the outs, and if this is going to go continue to go south, or if it's going to stay south, or if you think they'll get back together. I feel like a reconciliation is coming around the corner. All right, you guys, I'll be back in a little while with more Coffee from Katie.